Hi guys! So I'm going to be giving a brief overview of how I would give my lesson plan directions to one of the lessons activities that I have planned using comprehensible input. So the first thing I would do is introduce this question. So good morning class. Today you see I have this question written on the board. What is something that annoys you? If you think about that for a second, there could be a lot of things that annoy you. It could be the actions of one of your siblings. Do they poke you a lot? Do they always call your name when they want something? Maybe it could be a sound, maybe like the sound of nails on a chalkboard. If you've ever heard that sound, that can be kind of annoying. Or could it be your parents always asking you for a favor after you just sat down or you just started to relax? So I want you to think about this question, and as you think about it, I'm going to hand out these little post-it notes, and you're going to write down your answer on your post-it note. You don't have to write your name on it, and as you write your answer down, you can post it on the front whiteboard here as soon as you're finished, and we are going to talk about it as a class and see what are some of the different things that annoy people in the class. So after going over the directions, I would have students come up, put their post-its on the front board. This hopefully would take between 10 to 15 minutes for the students, and then we would talk about it. So what I would do is read off some of the answers that students wrote anonymously and kind of discuss it. So some answers, again, might be their sibling is someone that they find annoying, or certain actions of their siblings or parents. And that would kind of lead into the first introduction that I give to the story that we will be reading in class, which is A Telltale Heart. For this one, I'm not really going to ask students to do much. I just want them to watch the video to kind of give them a brief idea of what the story is about and who Edgar Allan Poe is and what his writing is kind of supposed to show through his imagery. So I am using a video. It's also narrated, and I think the images in this video do kind of give students a better idea of what the story is, even if they don't fully understand what the language is or certain vocabulary words are. So just to kind of show some of the images that are in this video. So I like this video because the narrator does speak rather slowly, and like I said before, the images kind of give away the theme and that tone of the story. Also, the use of music to kind of build some of that suspense and kind of highlight some of the main parts of the story, I think were done effectively enough to where ELLs who are strong in English or who aren't strong in English could get a feel for the story before we actually read it. And then after this, we would kind of discuss it. I would ask students what their initial feelings are after watching that video and kind of give their interpretation of what the story is about, which will kind of lead into the next activity. So here, I would ask students, I would hand out a copy of A Telltale Heart to them that they can write on, and the directions would kind of go like this. So I would ask students, So here I'm handing out a copy of A Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe. And what I'm going to ask you guys to do on your own is either take your pen or your pencil, and I want you to look paragraph by paragraph in the story and either highlight, circle, or underline words that you do not understand right away. So here I have an example in the first paragraph of the story. If we read the first sentence, true, nervous, very, very dreadfully nervous. I had been and am. But why will you say that I am mad? The disease had sharpened my senses, not destroyed, not dulled them. So, just in that first sentence that I read kind of badly, I highlighted the word dreadfully and dulled, because I'm not sure what those words mean, and I'm not sure if the words around it are telling me what the word means, but I underlined them because I'm not sure. And then after you do that, after you go through the whole story and you look at the words that you don't know, I would ask students to talk in your groups about the words that you don't understand, collectively as a group. So what I mean by this is, so if you talk to your partner next to you and both of you look at the story and both of you don't understand the word hearken, then both you would come together and write that word down on a piece of paper and make note of that. So as a group, you're going to do that and look through the list of vocabulary words that you have highlighted and see which ones most of you don't understand. Because what we're going to do with that is an assignment where we define those words. So after we come together as a class and we all talk about the words that we don't understand and we write them all down on the board, we are going to define the words that a majority of us don't know. And we're going to do that in our groups. So each group is going to either have 2 to 3 words they must define. And how we are going to do this is use big poster board paper, and as a group, you're either going to look in a dictionary or computer for the definition of the word. It doesn't have to be anything long, just a quick definition that sums up what the word means. And then you're going to include a sentence, a picture, if a picture can be used for that word, as well as a synonym or antonym. So words that are either similar to your assigned word or words that are different that help you understand what that word means. And I have examples here. So to show students what I expect of them to write down, I will have example posters ready to show them about what I am expecting. So for the first example, I have here vehement. So I would show students that the word is in big bold letters so that everyone can see. And right under that, I give the definition, which means showing strong feeling, and then a sentence. The father gave a vehement scolding to the child after he got an F in math. So for vehement, you can't really have a picture for it. So I have an image here where it gives synonyms for the word. So it has words like violent, furious, strong, intense, just to help students understand what vehement means through synonyms. And then I also would have an example of where you could use a picture. So I do use hearken as the example I would show students, and it means listen. And my example sentence is hearken, hear the angels sing. Here I also use the context clue of hear in the sentence to help define what that word means, and also a picture of a hand cupping the ear so that students can understand that it's about listening or having to do with the ear. And then after that, I would have students come up to the front of the class and present their posters to everyone. And basically, they just have to read what they wrote. So they would present their word, give the definition, and explain the picture, kind of the way that I did. And then, of course, we would have those posted everywhere in the classroom. So that is a brief idea of how I would do this assignment. Your feedback is very much welcome and much needed. So thank you guys so much.